Hello, people. Hey, I am Brandon the Starseed. I am back. Um, I actually had a topic today, so I wanted to do an actual video where I can actually talk about things that I've thought about, like actually planned a little bit. Um, it's really pretty today. It's like beautiful weather. It's all blue skies and pretty. Um, it's also really trafficy. I think there's like a bunch of stuff going on um, all over the place today. So there's like people everywhere. It's chaotic, but that's it's a Saturday, so that's normal. Um, hmm. The topic. Uh, so some of you may have noticed that times are kind of shifting. Energy patterns are shifting. People are starting to behave maybe differently than they used to behave. Situations are maybe triggering things that maybe you thought were like long, old, and done in your life, and all of a sudden some of these things might be coming back. All sorts of stuff. Um, Tying it all together, what I've been working on now, or at least what I've been told to work on from like my last, I did like a automatic writing thing where I was like kind of in a trance state and I was like channeling a little bit. I was into the evening kind of, so I was like, you know, yeah. Um, and I kind of asked like the question of like what should I be doing or what should I be focusing on right now, because it seems like there's so much chaos going on. Like how do I know where to put my focus? And what I got was really simple, which is that that's actually the key right now is where you put your focus. So for instance, if you're like reading a lot of news stories or watching news things that are triggering you and making you really upset, because right now there's a lot of that going on, maybe balance the amount of time you're putting in that with equal amounts of time you're doing things that make you feel good, right? So watching stories or watching movies or watching TV shows or reading about things or hanging out with friends or family or eating food you like or whatever. Try to balance it so that you're like you're not getting like this much of your life is stuff that's stressing you out and it's pissing you off and it's just so crazy and chaotic and it's all you're focused on, and then you get like this much space left in your life for like the things that you enjoy that actually give you good feelings. I'm not telling you ignore everything. Honestly, you're gonna have to get to that point because it seems like the way things are going, keeping it balanced is hard. So if anything, try to lessen the amount of negative focus, things in which what you're putting your focus on provides you negative feelings. Either you're getting angry or you're getting stressed or frustrated. Not that like there's certain times in life where you have to put energy into something and you're going to feel frustrated, but you're going to move through it. That's different. That's like project type stuff and like learning and soul growth. But I'm talking about like reading news stories about stuff going on in other states, other countries, other places that you have literally no impact in, and knowing that there's really not anything you can do right now or anything you will do, honestly. So why get super upset over it? Again, this was the advice given to me, so I'm not pointing anyone out like saying you. I'm saying this was told to me from like my guide, basically, which was how come you're getting so upset over things that you're not going to do anything about and that honestly you shouldn't be doing anything about because they don't technically affect you directly. So that's a thought, and instead focus your time and energy on what does affect you directly, what provides you positive feedback, right? So let's say I watched a new show that was on Amazon Prime recently. Shout out to Amazon Prime. They actually have cool content. I've been watching stuff. It was a really good show. I like binge watched the entire thing in a matter of like one night because I do that. That provided me all sorts of stuff. It was a very enriching show. It gave my mind things to think about. It had good characters. It had good actors. It was just really good, I like that. I like the idea of sometimes escaping from reality into, movies, shows, books, whatever, some kind of creative outlet for your mind to just have a break, because all day we are being bombarded with so much negative stuff that is designed, tailored to trigger you, to get all people either angry or frustrated or feeling helpless or fear. That's the big one, right? Be afraid of something. being afraid of things makes sense, okay? From like a biological standpoint, we need to have a certain amount of fear to survive, right? But living in that state where you're perpetually afraid of every single thing and every possibility, and it's freezing you to the point where you don't make any actions or you don't even enjoy the things that you have with you now, being so afraid that like you're gonna lose the ability to do something. Well, you're not actually doing the thing that you're claiming that you value. You know what I mean? Like, exercise your freedoms that you have now, right? If you have freedoms, enjoy them. Wake up in the morning and be glad that whatever life you have, be glad you have that life, right? Again, this is coming more direct from like the lecture that I got from this whole thing. It's partly automatic writing, partly lecturing. They do a lot of that with me, honestly, when I talk directly to any of these groups, mainly the Arturian group. I get a lot of lecture-y stuff where they just kind of don't give me room to communicate back and forth. It's just more like, okay, we've read your life situation right now, and these are the words that you need to hear. You might not like them, but you need to hear these, So I write some of them just kind of get put in my mind. Yeah. That's the point, though, is try to be aware. Like how the new iPhones and a lot of other things have like screen time monitors now, so you can look at it and be like, holy crap, I'm staring at my phone for like 4 hours in the last 8 hours. Or like, you have the new watches and things that are like, all the things that are monitoring your steps, and you look at it at the end of the day and you're like, wow, like I walked like 4 miles today, I didn't even realize it. Oh, it's getting windy. Still getting windy. It's getting windier. Of course it is. Of course. I try to create a little bubble to create weather control. Weather fights back. Alright. Hang on. We'll just take the microphone away from here where it's vibrating from all the wind. And we'll move it down here where it won't be hitting the wind, maybe. No, it's still hitting the wind. Oh well. We'll keep going. It's trying to stop me. It's fine. We'll keep going. Yeah, so like we have all this new apps and new technology that's tracking everything from how much time you're sleeping to how much time you're staring at your screen to how much time you're walking to how many steps you're doing, all this stuff, right? Track how much time you're getting angry or upset over something that you read or watch or some conversation that you have or a person that you interact with where they just upset you. Track that, and then track the opposite of that, the times where you watch something or you read something or you are interacting with a person where you feel better afterwards, you feel upliftment, you feel positive, right? Track those two things, because you might be very, very surprised at just how much of your average day you're putting into the negative stuff. And then you're wondering why at the end of the day you feel so bad about everything. You're choosing to focus on the things that frustrate you. If I wanted to wake up in the morning and I just picked one topic that frustrates me, I can spend all day on YouTube and on Google and on Facebook and on Instagram just trolling through literally all of the worst things that exist on any topic and getting upset and mad and frustrated and helpless and fearful and whatever, right? Why? What good is that, in my opinion? Again, this was for me. If that's your life, roll with that, right? If you feel like that's working for you, roll with that. But for me, it seems like it's not doing me any good. Like, the least I can do is try to balance it so that I have equal amounts of things that bring me positive feelings, things that make me happy, things that make me feel good, compared to the things that are stressing me out or angering me or frustrating me or whatever, Trying to, balance those two things. It starts with just being aware, So, everything that you read, everything you watch, if you've watched this video, right? Keep track of it either on paper or on your phone or in your mind, if you can, was this positive or negative? Maybe it was neutral. Maybe there's a lot of shit, or it's neutral, completely neutral, right? I ate this taco. I didn't feel that good about it. I didn't hate it. It was a taco, Okay, fine, neutral. Tacos aren't the end of the world. Don't worry about it. But if it's I keep eating this one meal because, I'm on some diet and I have to eat this one thing and I hate it and it makes me miserable, there you go, okay? Get rid of that. Fix it. At least balance it with something else so that if you eat the one meal that you hate, you're going to have a reward of eating the one meal that you love. Something. We have to treat ourselves kind of the way that a parent would treat a child in kind of a reward-punishment scenario. You have to almost do that internally. I mean, you do have to do that internally as an adult, as a human, honestly. You have to create your own inner moral, ethical balancing point with positive and negative reward, punishment situations. And you have to find a way to work for yourself. It's too easy to just become lazy in this world. Not that I have anything against being relaxed and being at joy and at peace, but there's a difference, between that and being just straight up lazy and just not wanting to actually, do anything. There's definitely, it's a whole nother topic. We'll leave that topic alone. But my main issue is that if you're finding yourself frustrated or drained or angry or sad or whatever at the end of any given day, look back to that day and how much time you spent on things that brought you positive energy and how much time you spent looking at or reading or being around things that brought you negative energy. And then try to figure out how much of that you have any control over, right? If you work in a surrounding with a bunch of coworkers who do nothing but bring you negative energy and you can't really change that situation in the short term, then that's an area of your life where, okay, well, you're getting so much negative there, you're going to have to make sure that on your other time when you're not around these people, you give yourself nothing but positive. You have to balance the equation somehow, right? So if something in your life is so negative and you can't change it, you need something equally as positive that you do have some control over. I don't know. Think about that. Ponder that. It's something to think about. It's something I'm thinking about, and I'm just kind of like in real time sharing it and writing. And since I wrote it, and since I've been reading it, and now I've said it all, so like it's more likely that I'm gonna be doing this and paying attention to this now. I guess if y'all want to, cool. I'd love to know any feedback if any of you have feedback on like things in your life that are maybe toxic to you that you didn't realize were toxic until you started thinking about it, and maybe things in your life that were like super good and happy and brought you joy, but you didn't even think about it because they were just normal parts of your life. Think about that. You might be surprised. Something as simple as a bird chirping in the background. That brings me joy. I hear that in the morning, that wakes me up. Just nature, just birds, just chirping. There's all sorts of chaos going on in the world. These birds don't care. They're just chirping. They're just doing their thing. They're having like a whole conversation around me. There you go. Little things. Try to find those little things. Try to put more of your energy into those. Allow them to bring you joy. Try to limit the things that are bringing you not joy, right? And try to pay attention to that. Start paying attention to how you react to everything, right? You'd be surprised. You might not know yourself as well as you thought you did, and you might actually be growing and changing more than you gave yourself credit for. So, yay. Okay. Have fun, people. Farewell.